Good evening, folks. I'm not exactly on YouTube right now, so I'll give a few more minutes. I'll wait for a few more numbers to come on up here. Like, share, and subscribe the broadcast if you don't mind. Pass it along to your friends. Drop a like over there on Facebook. Do what you do. If you got a little coins you want to drop somewhere, you ain't got to give them to me, but drop them to somebody that needs them. Y'all know what I'm saying? That's what we do around here. Sunny and share. I'm going to share some information with y'all, as you see right there on the screen. The low country, my homeboys, South Carolina, where I'm from. You know, it's just some beef been going on off in these there YouTube streets. Kwame Brown, but acting a motherfucking fool. But see, be careful when you poke the sleeping bear. Whether you mean to do it, whether it's accidental or intentional. For years, this man has been silent. But my other homeboy, Charlamagne the God, a.k.a. Leonard McKelvey, poked the sleeping bear. Now, I'm so close to both of these brothers that probably on a weekly basis, I see Kwame Brown. Just a regular guy out doing his business. We're that close. And I'm not going to speak on how close that Charlamagne and the God am I. That ain't your business. So I feel with all these celebrity bloggers and different things like that out there want to shed some light on it. As you notice, none of them use the term low country because they're not from here. And so many of these YouTube streams out here, if you ain't from them streets, don't talk about them streets. If you don't know about the Geechee Gullah mentality, don't fuck with it. Kwame Brown gave you a heavy dose of that mentality. I am not that nigga to be fucked with, especially from another homeboy. Charlamagne the God, I'm surprised at what you did, but I'm not to say I'm gonna give you a pass because you corrected your ways, my man. You saw the wrong and the errors. You gave yourself the donkey of the day because you knew you was wrong. And that's what we do down here in the low country. When we know we wrong about something, we stand on our disrespect and we admit to when we were right wrong. My man used the term, my mama's home cooking. That's familiar around here. That wasn't a new term to me because some other perpetrators, not on the same level of these guys, pretty much try to do the same thing to me. A couple of perpetrating DJs, Alan J and H. Diane, who thought they could get over on this Geechee Gullah boy. So as in taking lead from Kwame Brown, I'm gonna roast you two motherfuckers too, but not just yet. Oh no. See, watching Kwame Brown let me know that sometimes, as I always tell some of my good friends, they don't hear you till you scream at them. They sure don't. They don't hear you until you kick them in the ass. Put their drawers in a bunch. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You got to get kicked pretty hard to put your drawers in a bunch in your ass. That means everybody draws pants was trying to get the fuck out the way of that foot coming at you. A lot of my folks tell me, I hear you on the radio, Stevie, but that's not the real Stevie. You need to rip up a little bit. Nah. I like this level that I've built for myself. And to have some motherfuckers come along and try and steal it or try to tarnish my reputation. I got fucking time today because it's hot outside. I got time to talk about you today, just like Kwame Brown made the time to correct Charlamagne the God. I got time today. It's hot outside. Fuck around and you poked this Geechee Gullah, and you made me mad enough. Now I gotta talk about you. I gotta talk about your mama. I gotta talk about that horsehead bitch you call a wife. I gotta talk about why your ball's in her pocket instead of yours. But I'm gonna get to all of that. Y'all got to wait for it. I'm gonna sip my Mountain Dew, hit a little vape, and let the roast begin in a little while. But anyway, that's not what I'm really here for, honestly. The low country battle, as you folks see it, it's been a motherfucker, man. You know, both these fellas said some things that they shouldn't have said. Hey, Neek, how you doing? Crew, what's going on with you? Let's see, who else we got up off in here? Let me see. See a few folks down there. See a few numbers. Like and share the broadcast if y'all don't mind. Appreciate that. Hey, Shar, how you doing? I got a little time today. It's hot outside. Shit. So hot, I saw the devil walking in red bikinis, looking for underwear, looking for goddamn lemonade. In the shade. Kwame Brown made the low country hot. Everybody want to know what's going on in the Carolinas. I got time on a Monday. That's right, crew. I got time. Monday. Let me make sure I keep my background music going on right here. Hold on just a second. Let me put this back on. Yeah, that's right. That's the beginning of the song. If y'all know what it's called, Let Us Pray. That's what Alan J and Diane should have done. Should have prayed today that never fucked with me. That's what they should have done. I got time today, niggas. Let's ride that horse into town. Get him up, get him up, get him up. See, Kwame woke up the inner Geechee up off in this fella here. I can play on both sides of the street. You notice on those YouTube panels, when them so-called manosphere niggas used to run up on me, I turn on them quick. Nigga, who you talking to? Wrong motherfucker. BGS, Angry Man, the 7-day, whatever the fuck he called himself. Even so much officer of the goddamn law, Charles Faulkner, bitch ass nigga. What the fuck you talking about? Them 7 swans of swimming that you had on that panel the last time I was up on that motherfucker. Talking about y'all police, y'all bitches. You don't fuck with this Geechee Gullah boy, cause y'all woke a nigga up. Y'all gonna get the real me for a little bit. Don't fuck around. I ain't 7 feet and I ain't 6'1". But when I pick you up and shake you, earth shattering, kaboom. Earth shattering. Don't fuck with, I'm gonna use my man's word. Don't fuck with his mama's son. It was 10 of us. 3 of us gone. They're gonna not let you fuck with 7 of 10. Not gonna do it. But like I said, we came here to talk about those folks. Leonard McKelvey, aka Charlamagne the God. Hey, Poetic Kels, how you doing? And my homeboy, like I said, I'm real close to both of these fellas. I can see them. I probably see Kwame Brown on accident. You know, he's just another regular fella. We're in the same line of work, folks. So it's impossible not to see each other. From his area of travel and my area of travel. But then that's the thing about privacy. That man's private, I'm private. Nobody need to know who the fuck I go see or who I'm passing down the road. He woke some motherfuckers up there talking about ESPN and Stephen A. Smith. But if y'all go back some time ago, I talked about these niggas too. I told you how they dealt brothers. Told you how they put motherfuckers up for slaughter on these channels. On these public broadcasting systems they call ESPN. Type in Skip Bayless. Type in Stephen A. Smith. type in Jason Whitlock and see what their topics are. Now first, congratulations to both of my homeboys, Charlamagne the God and Kwame Brown. I'm gonna take Kwame first. First of all, think about this. You start playing basketball at a certain age, right? High school, junior high, high school, college, and on to the pros. Hopefully, point% of each one of those years that you're playing ball, somebody gets left behind. Find out that they're not good enough. Kwame Brown was the #1 pick by what we believe to be the most prolific, big word, man that ever played the game of basketball, Michael Jordan. So what folks as critics is trying to tell me about Kwame Brown, that he can't play basketball. Like Michael Jordan was just walking by Kwame Brown one day and say, damn, that's a big nigga. I'm gonna sign you #1. See, I speak the real. Well, they're on TV, they got to curtail their words. That's probably what Michael did. We're just driving through Charleston, South Carolina one day, saw a 17-year-old boy playing basketball in the park and say, yeah, I'm going to draft you #1 in the NBA without doing his homework. Slap that. That's as Ruby would say, that's a backhanded slap compliment. You're going to talk about the GOAT in 1 minute and then say that I don't know what the fuck I'm doing about picking Kwame #1. Gotta break it down to the smallest kind of, ideas. Break it down to Michael Jordan. What you think Michael Jordan's saying about this right now? These niggas. I ain't getting in that. Get him, Kwame. But think about that. The #1 draft pick in the NBA at 17 years old. That's not an accomplishment. What it is, folks, sometimes we got too many niggas in prominence. Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson. They give us a few of them, But those who don't live up to their expectation of being #1, they shit on them. How can you be a bust if you spent 12 years in the NBA? How can you be a bust? How could you be a bust at 17 years old? They chose you out of high school over cats in college. What the coaches of Coach K from Duke and all these big time 4A schools, they went and chose a 17-year-old high school graduate, Kwame Brown. That's history in itself. The next time that was done by who? LeBron James. But because LeBron James' game is a little bit better, we celebrate him. Wait until his skills start to diminish. See what Stephen A. got to say about him then. See what Skip Bayless got to say about him then. See what all the other great NBA talents got to say about him then, when his skills starts to diminish. You don't spend 12 years getting paid millions of dollars in the NBA, whether you on the bench or not, and have no skills. Think about how small the NBA community is as far as jobs are concerned. You got a certain amount of spots on a certain amount of teams with a certain amount of money they can pay each high-to-do athlete. Then you got to follow their rules. Well, if you know anything about Kwame Brown, and if you listen to his uploads, he worked for himself. He can't get fired. He can say what he wants. He don't need no sponsorships. He don't need ESPN to grease his pockets like Stephen A. Smith. Remember, Stephen A. got taken off the air for insulting a white woman. That's it. He spoke all kind of shit on niggas. But they took him off the air for 3 weeks when he talked bad about that white girl. Y'all do the math. You tell me who right, who wrong. Now let me talk about my man Leonard McKelvey. Hey Zero, what's going on, bro? Let me tell you about Leonard McKelvey, aka Charlamagne the God. If you from around here in Charleston, South Carolina, you know you had 2 radio stations at a time. One was the Big DM in Columbia, South Carolina, and Z93 Jams. The guy that created that station was in my yard about 4 days ago. So I think I'm in pretty good company when I speak about this brother. I know where he came from. I know the steps that he took to get to where he's at. I salute what he's did. Do I agree with everything that Charlamagne says? Absolutely not. But he wakes folks up. He wakes folks up. He makes you think about some things, whether you want to or not, whether you like him or not. And for that, sometimes the young brother gets chased in the streets, gets death threats, all kind of shit, for speaking his mind. So much so that you had people trying to sabotage him, because if you don't know, he was going to do some big things on HBO around here for this community to put Charleston, South Carolina, Mounts Corner, South Carolina on the map. Got derailed by that sissified Wendy Williams husband. Who the fuck? Nigga, did you wake up to that, next to that every day? Have y'all seen Wendy Williams? Come on now. Motherfucker look like a cardboard with titties. Stop it. Told you, y'all woke up that Geechee boy today. I got time. I got time today. It's hot outside. It's hot out that motherfucker. I got time today. But back to Charlamagne. You know, go look up what he's done. Look at his accomplishments. He's allowed to make mistakes. Well, mistakes is all right, like DMX say. But sometimes you got to own up to your mistakes. And I think Charlamagne does that quite well. And that's the first clip that I want to go to. I think he does that quite well. He owns up. He didn't dwell back into it like some folks wanted him to. He, how do you say, tried to make things right with Kwame Brown. Homeboys. Wait a minute. Let me pull this up. Here we go, right here. Let me get this. Wait a minute, y'all. Just be patient. I told you, y'all don't get me mad today. Not today. What's going on here? Y'all know how it is. Sometimes technology don't want to work. There we go. All right, folks. Here it is. Check this clip out, and I gotta say, I give kudos to Charlamagne the God. He gave himself the donkey of the day. So take a listen.
Now, I've been called a lot in my 23 years, but donkey of the day is a new one.
Donkey of the day for Monday, May 24th goes to me, Leonard McKelvey. Contrary to popular belief, this is not the first time I've given myself Donkey of the Day, because Donkey of the Day does not discriminate. I mean, I may be kind of biased towards certain people, but I don't have any bias when it comes to myself. If I'm wrong, if something I do or say doesn't sit right with my spirit, I have to apologize and do better moving forward, and that's what I'm about to do right now. I want to apologize to Kwame Brown and Kwame Brown's family. I want to apologize to his father, Bill Brown, and the family of his father. See, last week on this radio, in my attempt to defend a Charleston, South Carolina-born brother like myself, I revealed too much information about that man's family. And even though all that stuff is public record, some things just don't need to be said on the radio, and they definitely don't need to be said by me. When I look back, on the way I communicated that, I communicated it all wrong. And I unintentionally triggered trauma in a lot of folks I grew up with who I genuinely love. I'm sure I caused a lot of pain for not only Kwame Brown, but for his family, especially his family in my hometown of Moncks Corner, South Carolina. You know how I know? Because I spoke to a few of them. I've been on the phone this weekend with mothers of children and their children. Salute to Shaliba and her daughter, Brianda. I was on the phone with sisters
sure
like Wallet, salute to Wallet.
Right.
Oh, she cursed me
We let that nigga know.
And, I was apologizing for triggering them, causing them pain, because I was casually discussing their family's trauma, man. And that's something that I have to stop doing. That's something that we all have to stop doing. I was talking to my Sacred Purpose coach, Yadi Alba, this weekend. She's like a spiritual therapist. I have her and my clinical therapist, and that's what we were talking about, how we casually discuss each other's traumas. I didn't even think about when I spoke on, Kwame and his family, how many people were impacted by those things I was speaking on. I mean, that's generational. Okay, I caused pain and unintentionally poked at people's wounds. Okay, wounds that will probably never heal. And I can't take back those words, but I can't apologize. I think oftentimes we, meaning black people, we fight each other with our demons, whether true or false, whatever is the worst thing we know about a person, or think we know about a person, we default to that. And that was not my intention. I was not in any way, shape, or form trying to paint Kwame in a negative light. Okay, that black man is not my op. He wasn't my op when I said it. In my mind, I'm defending that man, but I should have been defending him as Leonard Charlamagne the God McKelvey, the professional, and not Leonard Larry, whatever you want to call me, from Moncks Corner, South Carolina, talking like I'm home in the town on why I believe they need to leave Kwame Brown alone. That was whack, because the conversation didn't even have to go there. The conversation should have been about basketball. Yes, leave Kwame Brown alone because he achieved a goal and a dream that 1.3% of NCAA seniors will achieve, and 0.03% of high school seniors. You know how small a number that is? And, that's just simply being drafted in the NBA. If you play 13 seasons and make $65 million, you're a success, okay? If you work 13 years anywhere and make that kind of money, you're a success. So salute to that man. The only expectations we have to live up to is our own. That's why I always say success is subjective, okay? My views of success may be different than yours. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters. But we didn't even get into that conversation because my mind automatically went to something that it didn't even have to go to. In doing that, I unintentionally caused trauma. And since I unintentionally caused trauma, I have to be intentional about causing healing. I'm not about to sit around and have beef with another black man for nothing. Trust me, as y'all know, I have a lot of real enemies who are gunning for me every day. Kwame Brown is not going to be one of them, okay? I totally understand why Kwame Brown was upset at me. I went low. That wasn't my intention. But in hindsight, it was low. And Kwame took it to the floor with me. And y'all be online so excited, ready to see black people go back and forth and tear each other down. I'm not doing that. I'm not going back and forth if I feel like I wronged somebody. I'm going to apologize. That's what I think a good man does. A good man apologizes for the mistakes, that he made. But a great man corrects them. Hopefully, I get the opportunity to do that one day. But for now, I just apologize. And I'm not beefing with a black man who's born where I was born and has family where I'm from. There's nothing on this planet that I love more than God, my family, and Moncks Corner, South Carolina, the whole low country, the 843. Drop on the clues bomb for the 843. Okay? So when I say I sincerely apologize to Kwame Brown and his family and the family of Bill Brown and Moncks Corner, I mean that. Only thing I'm responsible for is my energy in recognizing my own insanity. And Eckhart Tolle once said to recognize one's own insanity is, of course, the arising of sanity, the beginning of healing and transcendence. I truly believe if trauma can be passed down through generations, then so can healing. Me, Leonard McKelvey, I have never claimed to be perfect. In fact, I'm far from it. I'm not going to always get it right. The same things people listen to me for is the same things they hate me for because I talk too much. I overshare. I overshare about myself. I overshare about others, and that has historically gotten me in trouble. But we are all works in progress. And one of the most healing things you can do is recognize where in your life you are your own poison. And last week I was poison to Kwame Brown, Bill Brown, and their families. For that, I sincerely apologize. Please let Remy Ma give me Leonard McKelvey, Charlamagne the God, the biggest hee-haw.
Hee-haw, hee-haw. You stupid motherfucker, you dumb.
Yes, indeed. Dumb. Donkey Today is brought to you by the Law Office of Michael S. Lamonsoff. Don't be a donkey. Dial pound 250 on your cell and say the bull if you've been hurt in a construction accident. That's pound 250 from your cell and say the bull.
Well, folks, I mean, you can't argue with that. My man said what he said. I think he was genuine in his apology. I think he stood up and understood that he put himself into the position that he didn't need to be. All this unwarranted stuff that's happening to Charlamagne the God right now is because he didn't think before he spoke. And that's what the media is trained to do. They're so trained to tear us down that we speak about it so freely. Now, prime example of that, wait a minute, is Kevin Samuels and what he does to black women. He is popular because of that. And even to a certain extent, the Angry Man is popular because at the time, that's all he did was talk about how fucked up he thought black women were. And you go on to all of these YouTube panels, and the majority of it, anytime there's 6 niggas in that room, they talking about the girls. There's a cat named Rude Ump, or whatever the fuck his name is. That's all he does. One minute he against the women, and the next minute he for the women. Make up your mind, blood. You in there to shame the brothers, or you in there to date women? Which one? I got time today, motherfucker. Told you, I got time today. So, I'm like my man right here, Kwame Brown. Don't poke me, because you don't know me. I'm that guy that stays out in the shadows. You don't need to know me. You don't need to know nothing personal about me. Those who know me, and those who don't. The internet is too vast to be putting your personal information out there, folks. Because as you can see, we have countless of instances where you thought someone was your friend, and they turned out to, as the word that you folks use in the streets, dox you. Oh, I got a little sound effect my damn self. Sure do. See what I'm saying? You never know what the next man has. So the easiest way to focus on him is his shortcomings. People always want to know about what you're doing, not what you did. Especially when it's to some negativity. As soon as you raise to a level of somebody feels they have a reason to be jealous about you, they always try to reach back into your past and pull out a shit bomb on you. And that's what Charlamagne did for some reason or the other, not thinking. But I'm glad he's a stand-up guy enough to realize that he was 100% wrong. But once the toothpaste is out the tube, you can't put it back in. So now his past comes into question because of something he did a week ago. And if you don't know, you heard Kwame Brown speak on some allegations about Charlamagne the God when he was living in South Carolina. So I think this is 2001. But again, with KB's anger, he didn't do his due diligence. He didn't check his facts. And he put out that Charlamagne the God was a child molester, basically a rapist, that he pled guilty to, pled to a lesser charge for vaginal penetration of a minor. Not true. Well, you'll see the clips as we play them, and it'll explain all of this. I'm just trying to give you a little bit of, it's called foreshadowing. See, they think, Old geeky nigga like me wouldn't know nothing like that. We educate ourselves around here, folks. The hardest thing I think any black man will tell you is growing up in South Carolina. Yeah, it's rough in the ghetto. Yeah, it's rough in the inner city. But it's even rougher when you know that any time, all it takes is one word, one sentence, and somebody can bum rush your house over a white bitch. That's all it takes. That's called living in South Carolina. Because you remember, just in this area of where I live at, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plantations. 6 plantations. And I ain't talking about on an acre of property. So when I hear people say, oh, you know, living in the country, you guys you had it easy. Nigga, my response to that was, oh no, it wasn't that. All the scared niggas ran up north. That's what I tell you. As stupid is as stupid does. And if you look at the history, black people really didn't run to the north. They migrated to the north. They ran to Florida because they know the slave catchers couldn't catch them down in them swamps and bayous. Seminoles. Look at the history of who the black Seminoles were. But I know, I'm just an old geeky boy. I don't know what I'm talking about. I could just bring this information out my ass for no reason. See, that's what happened to Charlamagne. He thought Kwame wasn't on his level. And that's what also happened to Stephen A. Smith and the rest of these clowns we about to joke with. Alan J. and the H, Horse Diane. That's what they thought. Because of this area they call South Carolina, they think we don't know better. They think we some old barefoot, horse riding, buggy, mule driving country boys that speak with that fucked up accent. How many of you folks, the first time you heard me, thought I was from South Carolina? I mean, if you're honest, probably none of you until I told you, or until I spoke in some geeky gully. Where that nigga from? I thought he was from New York. New York City. Anyway, folks, let's get to this next clip here. Now, as we all know, there's a guy called Stephen A. Smith that my man is hot on. But let's do this first, because I like my man Shannon Sharp. I love how he rips folks apart. So let's start here. Let's start with Shannon Sharp. Okay.